Hi there to all of my followers that are following my dreams too. Um, to anybody that's been following my vlogs, you know that I am working on getting a webcam. So that's why I don't have the video on this one here. I just figured that I could kind of talk about my books. More specifically, I'm going to talk about Young and in Love. Um, for Young and in Love, honestly, the way that I got that book was, or came up with that book, I should say, is when I finally decided that I was going to start writing my stories so that I could share them with other people. Um, for me, I've been writing or coming up with the stories for as long as I can remember. When I was about 15 or 16, I started doing romance. And a few years ago, me and my mom, we read a lot, and we just couldn't find anything that we were really interested in. And so I started giving my mom different clips of different stories and stuff. And she had sent me a Google search thing on publishing and said that I should write my stories down because she wanted to, find out what actually happened. And then I could publish it and share it with other people. And that's always been my dream. So I wind up, doing that. I sat down with a notebook and I just kind of wrote out the plot lines for multiple different books. And out of all of those books that I had wrote out the plot lines and stuff for, Young and in Love is the one that I picked and started writing it. It actually only took me a few months to get Young and in Love completely written from start to finish. After I finished it, my mom read it, and I didn't really do anything with my book for a while. Well, my mom would take it to work with her to read. And one of her friends that she works with, Joe, when he would walk by her, he would kind of look over her shoulder and read it. And he got really interested in it just from the small clips that he would see. And so he started asking my mom. And so she would kind of start telling him what was happening and stuff like that. And he got so interested in it that he wanted to read it for himself. And Joe is my number one fan. Outside of my family, he is my biggest supporter. He's actually going to have a part in my book for donations on getting started with publishing and just always being there to support me throughout the whole thing. Because it really does mean a lot when you have somebody that's not family to you, give you praise on really liking something. And so that was definitely the setting stone for me to move forward on getting my books done. At first, I was trying to print them and bind them myself. And it wasn't hard, but very time consuming. And eventually, after several books, my printer decided it didn't want to print in the booklet form anymore. So, once again, my mom had sent me a Google search on publishing again, and so I looked into it. After talking to a couple different publishers, I wind up going with Dorrance. I have a vlog that completely covers everything with Dorrance if you want to watch that. But that's really how I came up with it, honestly. It's just setting down, coming up with different books, and Young and in Love was the one I decided I was going to write. And when I had finished Young and in Love, I started working on My Brother's Roommate. That one only took me a few months to get, completely done as well. And I am about halfway through with getting all of the edits and everything done for My Brother's Roommate to get it prepped and ready to be sent to Dorrance. So that one's really cool and exciting. Both of those books are on my YouTube channel if you want to go check them out. Or you can also go over to my Wattpad account, which is a free reading app. My handle for both is the same. It's Following My Dreams 2. If you would like to listen or read my books. So, I mean, it's not a really fancy thing or anything of how I came up with the stuff. It's just, that was all it was, really. For me, honestly, I don't see it as hard or a big deal or whatever to come up with the stories. But apparently, for me, creativity is, like, super easy. And so, I don't see where other people say that it's hard and challenging. But I guess that's just me being me, I guess. Because I know there are some people that are always telling me how talented I am and how good I am with my stories and stuff like that. And it's just, for me, I don't see it. But that's me. I find it really easy to do. As I'm doing this vlog here, I'm also finalizing out a chapter on My Brother's Roommate so I can get it put on my Wattpad account. I have got a grammar check done on it since I first originally loaded it, and so once I finished getting the audio done and we get all the grammar stuff fixed and things like that, I get it copied over to my Wattpad. I don't have that many readers on there, but I still post it on there because I've had my Wattpad account for a while now and I have no plans of getting rid of it. So, even if nothing ever comes out of it, I still like to have it on there, just because. I'm trying to think of, like, what else to... I know I've had people ask me before, no, nothing in my books is, like, based off real people. It's all made up characters out of my head. Now, there is some stuff, like the way some of them act, may refer back to actual people, in my life. Like, for instance, with Brittany in Young and in Love, which is Roxanne's mother, she says really a lot. That really comes from my mom because she does that all the time. She's always doing that. Or right. That's what it is. It's right. My mom's always saying that. She's like, right, right, right. And sometimes it's kind of annoying, but I love my mom to death, and she is always doing that. And so that's where that comes from. Some of the ways, like, that James acts, reflects back to a lot of the ways that my husband acts. Stuff like that. But I mean, like, as far as the intimate scenes go, no, none of that stuff is based off reality or real life or any of that. That's literally all just made up stuff. I know my sister said that she can't really read my book because I'm her little sister and she just can't do that. And I, I don't really understand it because, like, it's not like any of the stuff is based off real life or anything that I do, but it's whatever. I know my sister still loves me and supports me, and that's all that really matters. Um, but yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that, like, depending on what's going on in my life when I'm writing a scene, is kind of depending on what the mood of that scene is, or what's going on, or something that might be said, or, something like that. But none of it is based off reality. It's all made up. All the places are made up, and that actually takes a lot more than what people realize to check that and make sure that you have all made up places and nothing actually refers back to anything real, so that you don't have to deal with, like, copyrights or anything. Um, and then, like, in my brother's roommate, the different places that they go and stuff like that, that actually took a lot of research doing, trying to make sure that, like, the time frames matched up. I actually sat down and figured up the different time frames and what the different time zones were and stuff like that to make sure that it was accurate. Uh, when I'm writing that book, because it goes day by day like it does, I have a calendar that I set down with, and I write in it for any time that I'm writing on Falling in Love with the Billionaire series, just to make sure that everything stays accurate, really. That way you don't have, like, if you actually sat down and figured it up, you don't have something where it's saying, like Monday, but it's actually like it would be like a Friday or something. Um, so I'm definitely always checking that and stuff. So it does take a lot of research sometimes, but definitely worth it in the end, in my opinion, anyways. Because I really do love the stories and I get into them a lot. This stuff is so boring. I hate doing this stuff. It's not hard doing the finalizing, and when I switched over from doing all of my writing on OneNote to doing all of my writing on Microsoft, all the emojis that I had, like, didn't copy over, so I have to go in and, like, re-add those. I have to take out all the editing stuff and the comments and things like that from when we're doing the edits and the audio. Um, and then go in and, like, highlight all of it to copy it over to my Wattpad account. Ugh. And it's not hard, it's just boring, honestly. And that's my biggest thing. I just find it so boring to do. I love doing the writing. I love doing the, creative stuff on Blender. But as far as this other tedious stuff goes, it's annoying. and praise my mom, man. She does so much of this stuff for me just because I find it so boring to do. Like I said, it's not hard, it's just boring. And then trying to make sure that the copy's over, right? And so it's just something that has to get done, but god awful boring to do. But alright, I don't want to annoy anybody. This is pretty much all I'm doing, is just finishing this up here. And then I just did a video for my YouTube channel on a Blender thing. So after I get the audio made for these 2 chapters that were done, I'm going to load those, and then I'm going to start working on getting the video that I made for Blender done. And then I'll load this vlog here. So that's probably going to take the rest of the day just to get that all done. That's really all I've got planned for the rest of today, though. So have a great day. Thank you for watching my content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a whole lot. You can go check out my Wattpad account or my Instagram. They are both following my dreams too. You can also click that bell notification to get notified whenever I upload more content. Have a great day.